My relationships with my directors are not about why haven't you cast me in your next film? Why don't you cast me? It's more about what are we making? So my relationships are more real.
You're not on social media, Aishwarya. Why?
I had a problem with the fact that people were using it as a barometer for their own individual popularity. I don't know if enough people realize that they're actually very antisocial to be social. Everybody's sitting on a table, not making conversation, but connecting. When you're a parent, you don't overthink it, and if there's something that you need to share, you just do it. You address it, because that comes first over everything.
Hi, Aishwarya. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's so nice having you here. It's been so long since I last interviewed you. So what have you been doing for so many years? Did you miss facing the camera and shooting? I know you were always on the red carpet, going to Cannes, doing all of that. But you know, actually shooting for a film, did you really miss that?
Facing the camera, it's not been that long a gap, because I've been coming to the studios, I've been doing advertising work. And so in that sense, today you don't really go away. You're attending events, you're interacting with the media all along. So that doesn't feel like, I mean, you know, I met you after very long, but it doesn't feel like you're doing interviews after very long.
But tell me, what was your first reaction when you heard about Jazbaa? Was it the minute you read the script, you're like, I'm doing this film? Because there were these stories about how Sanjay Gupta, your director, was actually discussing the script with Abhishek, and that's how the idea came.
There were a couple of filmmakers and scripts that I was discussing and have been discussing as well. Some committed to and got announced, like Ae Dil Hai Mushkil next with Karan. Or, you know, Sarabjit came up with Umang. That actually came up recently and was a quick yes for the script. But there's been scripts with Sujoy, in fact, 2 ideas with him, Mani Ratnam's movie, and a couple of other filmmakers who haven't yet announced, so I won't. But there are all these different subjects that I was listening in on. Even Sanjay had sent his script, like a one line, not the detailed one, and the meeting was yet to happen. So in that sense, I had liked the idea immediately, but because of multitasking, that meeting hadn't as yet happened. So that happened through Abhishek, in the sense that he was meeting with Abhishek also on work, and he said, man, I've been trying to meet up with Aishwarya, so...
It's not happening.
So Abhishek was like, just revert. I mean, I'm like, you know, so suddenly I felt so self-conscious and guilty that the meeting happened instantly. I was like, Goops, you'll have to adjust to my time, because we have, over the years, like in the past, Sanjay Gupta and me were meaning to work through a lot of common friends in the industry. But that had never come to be.
Sanjay Gupta calls you super mom. How do you really juggle? How do you manage?
Multitasking has always been a way of life. The different, whatever our different experiences be. So I mean, I started as a student and simultaneously working. So I guess, you know, it's always been, it's there somewhere within. As a parent, forget about it. Your entire perspective to life is altered. You start viewing life only from the perspective of your child, and that's your reality, that's your everyday. And when you're a parent, you don't overthink it, and if there's something that you need to share, you just do it. You address it, because that comes first over everything. So that was very easy for me to do with Sanjay. So my days would start really early. I'd do the readying at home and then rush to work. But then I'd take Aaradhya to school and then rush. So I'd do my mornings with Aaradhya, then go to work, then have her picked up from school. If the locations were close, go myself. If it's slightly further away, then I'd have her come to, you know, my workplace and still have her in the trailer. I'd not take her to the set, but have her in the trailer, so I'm still interacting with her. So, you know, when I come back from a shot, and filmmaking always takes, sometimes there is a little bit of downtime, not enough, but I'm constantly with her to be able to do her activities and be mom as well.
It's very glamorous, very diva-like image. So when you're doing a role like this, which is not particularly very glamorous, how do you break that down? And as a director, how difficult is it for him to extract an actor out of the star that you are?
I did belong to modeling, and I did belong to, you know, I had got a title and all of that. There was, and then I could have very easily just been molded into the next all-time commercial actress. Somehow every director wanted to try and do something slightly different, still commercial, but slightly different within that realm. As a result, there has been a lot of interesting work that I had the opportunity to do, and at the time I believed I was kind of helping break away from preconceived ideas, and that kind of has been a progression to where cinema is at present times.
But does the making of cinema also interest you a lot?
Always has. In fact, as an actor, I've always been involved with the directors, and that has helped foster very strong bonds and relationships with them. So it's not about my relationships with my directors is not about why haven't you cast me in your next film or why don't you cast me. It's more about what are we making and what are the ideas that you have and what kind of cinema do you think you're doing next, and we talk about it and explore possibilities of being able to work together. But even if not, there is no why didn't you take me or why won't you take me both ways, which has always been, so my relationships are more real.
But yes, you're not on social media, Aishwarya. Why?
Believe you me, this comes from absolute honesty. I definitely believe in the potential, the strength, the impact and the reach of social media, and I would love to be on it. But very, very honestly, when it first started out, I had a problem with the fact that people were using it as a barometer for their own individual popularity. And that's something that I've never believed in being a part of. No kind of rat race or no kind of, crutches like that. I couldn't be doing all that, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to be drawn into any kind of comparisons, not from any insecurities. I mean, my well-wishers have kept me very secure, and I thank you for all your love and support, and I believe in it. And another little point is when I'm with you, I connect to you.
Correct.
So
it's direct. It's very direct.
And it's there. With a lot of people today, in the bid to connect with everybody else, I don't know if enough people realize that they're actually very antisocial to be social.
Exactly.
So you're very antisocial in a room. You're sometimes just rude. You're just rude. Everybody's sitting on a table, not making conversation, but connecting. And being very connected to everybody else. And you're so good and you're so nice, but you're just outright rude to everybody in front of you. So I don't kind of get that.
Do you feel a lot of pressure with this film?
The day I decide and I say, yes, I'm going to go on this journey with this filmmaker, then you're on this journey all the way. Most times you work at making it a good memory. Sometimes there aren't such pleasant ones, but that's life and that's fine. Box office results are extremely important to the industry because this is an industry. But that's where you're always hoping and more that you belong here. You share with your producers and hope production is well under control during the making. And that is something, I think, if well planned, there are very few films today that would necessarily be a loss-making proposition.
Aishwarya, when you walk the red carpet, it's with so much of grace and all of that, and we're so proud of you every year when you go to the Cannes. And you're an actress too. But what comes to you more naturally? What is more easy?
Wow.
You like slip into both the roles with as much ease?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. Because, I mean, this has been a way of life now for me for so long. So, there isn't too much thought.
Abhishek, during his interview, told me that the worst nightmare for him was walking the red carpet.
He says that, but well, I tease him. I'm like, please, you're born to all of this. You know, you've been doing this all your life as well. So on one level, it's second nature. But I think also because he's born to this, it's so normal to him that probably he cannot
react to it, I guess.
Yeah, so he's like, what's all the fuss about? Because it's kind of normal. Sometimes it is made a little unnatural, which I think for him is like, why is it unnatural when it's meant to be such a natural situation? And for me, again, I've done it, as I'd say, all my adult life, from like 18, 19 onwards, this is what you've been doing. So again, this is just normal for me. So I'm like, all of this is normal. It's regular.
What is the toughest part of shooting Jazbaa?
Probably just figuring out my reality and my professional aspect and finding that balance. Probably last November I was thinking, okay, when it starts, how am I going to find that rhythm? And I found it.
That you have,
it just happened. You just find your rhythm like I found my rhythm to motherhood, like I found my rhythm to marriage and working and everything. You find your rhythm, and then as long as I'm looking back and smiling and really content with the way I found that rhythm, I think that's always a good sign.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya. It was great talking to you.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.